Bonjour à tous de Cherbourg en Cotentin. So we should start where we are. We are in Cherbourg, and we should get it correct as well because there's a G on the end of it, but the French don't pronounce the G. And en Cotentin, which is very difficult to say, and I speak a little bit of French, is the department that it's in. And that's part of the long peninsula that punches up into the English Channel, and it's in the department of La Manche, which is French for the English Channel. And that's exactly where a large part of the fleet are. In fact, they're probably in the western edges of that now, most of them, about to go around the Scilly Isles. So if you want to know what a nation that loves sailing looks like, you should see this place. It is enormous. It's a Sunday afternoon, and this whole area is about the finish of the Fastnet Race. So we're just going to take you for a very small walk. There's an enormous marina as well, and Dale's going to walk behind me, and I'll just talk about a few more things about the race itself. If you're not aware of it, for the Australians particularly, the French are absolutely nuts about sailing. If you thought the Kiwis were into it, the French are totally into it. There are vast numbers of the 400 boats are French boats. Many of those are two-handers. When I was a youngster, they were renowned even in the 70s for their extraordinary seamanship and ability. There were whole sailing schools dedicated to really solid traditional seamanship, short-handed sailing and so on, and it's flourished ever since. And of course, the Vendée Globe and all of these are all very much sort of French-oriented affairs. So what's going on in the actual race itself? Well, the first two, I think, of the big tries, SVR L'Azartique, which has Pete Burling on board, and also Frank Camas. And they had a pretty fast run down through the channel, but they've slowed up a bit and they've just rounded the rock. They are now going to be getting the wind behind them and going well. And excuse me for the interruptions from the various bits of announcements. They well on the way. Meantime, the Super Maxis are still heading for the rock. And the top three, which at the moment is, who we got? Blackjack, Scallywag and Leopard 3, all within about 2-3 miles of each other, very close indeed. And they've got about 418 miles to go still, so that's quite a way. The IRC boats, AC1 and so forth, 40 miles behind again. And in that at the moment, just on line honours, Blackjack is leading, Beau Geste second and Jolt third. This is just on line. Whisper in between those two, the sort of Super Maxis and the others. So what we're looking at now here is the huge marina. One of the beauties of sailing in across to these lovely towns. Cherbourg's a very historic town, very badly hit during the war, but and collect them, see the people in, and the ferry terminals which all of the cross-channel ferries come in from. What's going on with the breeze at the moment? It's still relatively lightish northwest, so most people are upwind to the rock. What's interesting to look is the tracker, if you get a chance to have a look at it, is the choices people have to make about how to get around the Scillies. So if you can imagine the Scillies as the very end, sort of Land's End version of that, is off that is the islands, but between those two is this massive traffic separation scheme, and they're not allowed in there. If they go in there, that's it. Disqualified. So they have to make a chance with it. Will they squeeze up between the Land's End and that bit, or will they go outside? And the great bulk of them have gone outside and then headed north. I realised yesterday that I'd talked about tidal gates, as if anybody in Oz would know what a tidal gate is, because it's a pretty rare thing, really, for racing purposes. Essentially what it is it's a series of headlands. So if you can imagine that the bottom of full pitch, and in spring tide, that's anything up to 7 or 8 knots of it there. There is no way you're getting through that. So if you don't get there before that tide turns, then you're basically stopping, or you're going to have to go a long way out in order to get less current and then come back in. Worse still, if it's really wind over tide, it's really dangerous in here. So off Portland Bill, Lizard, Start Point and so on, they're really dangerous points. So in something like the Fastnet Race, that means you may actually find yourself not in an easy position to get around if you don't meet that. Right, so that's that one explained. We're going to bring you more tomorrow, but one thing I love already is because the French are very passionate about their sailing, they know a lot about it. And in the background, they've just been holding a Kahoot quiz for just lay people, maybe sailors, some of them, on various terms around the Fastnet and history and other things. And they've just given out prizes for that. I think this is a good idea for the Hobart. I wonder how we'd fare. Okay, I think we'll probably leave it here, and then we'll give you an update in the morning. See you then.